everybody, welcome back. I'm Lisa from Rosemaling with Art of Lisa, and I welcome you back to my studio on this Friday night or whatever night you're watching this. Anyway, usually I try to put the video out in the morning, but the day just kind of got away from me. So I hope you enjoyed today's little video. Last week, as you know, we did some C strokes with Rosemaling, and today I'm going to demonstrate some S strokes. So those are the two main strokes that work with Rosemaling. So let's move down to my work pad here. And as you can see, I already put a couple strokes down. So last week I demonstrated how, and I like to use a round brush. And for those of you wondering, I'm using a Joe Sonia Sure Touch 1350 round. So when I work with Rosemaling, and actually when anybody's working with Rosemaling, you're going to deal with C strokes. So C strokes are simply just that, a C stroke. So just like I did last week, I'm pushing my brush down. I'm going to turn it just a little bit in my fingers, and I'm going to start taking the pressure off and take off like an airplane. If you guys remember from last week, that's kind of how I described it. Same direction or a different direction, same idea. In the opposite direction, I'm going to push my brush down. I'm going to take it, pull up, take the pressure off my brush, and let the bristles come to a point and let it take off. I want to thank everybody out there who's subscribed, and if you haven't had a chance to subscribe, please do so below. And if you have any comments, please, by all means, put them down. I'm pretty good at getting back to people, but sometimes my mommy life gets in the way. Today was one of those days. All right, so sometimes we like to put a little companion in the middle there so that you have almost like twins. They're side by side, or maybe brother and sister. All right, so here we have those C strokes. Now off of C strokes, the other main stroke in Rosemaling is an S stroke. So an S stroke, let's say, let me do a C stroke coming in the opposite direction. So I'm going to take my brush, I'm going to pull it, I'm going to push down on my bristles and pull it around and let my bristles catch up to me and come right off. Now an S stroke would flow off the back of a C stroke. So for example, I'm going to follow along. Now my airplane brush has not landed yet, but I'm following. Now I'm going to push down. I'm going to push my bristles down. And if you notice, it has the effect of a C. Now sometimes you come back, you do another little one. So those strokes you can practice this way. A great way to start is by doing a line from the tip of your brush, push your bristles down, come down, bring your bristles back up, and then come back this way in a straight line. So you're going this way, and then this way. So left, down, left. Okay, so we do that a few times to get the feel of it, just to get the motion, right? So straight down, push, down. So it's really kind of like a Z right now. But as we work on it, I'm going to take it and I can round my edges over a little bit. So it still has that Z kind of feel to it. But as I work on it, I can start to get a bit of an S look to it. And I can make it longer, or I can make it shorter, can make it nice and small. So for example, in a little flower, I can have, oh, I'm getting paint all over the place. Look at this. Never fails. Usually it's blue, but sometimes it's red. All right, let's move this way. So as I was saying, sometimes you'd have a little flower, so maybe I have a little C stroke. And then I have an S coming off the side there. I have another S come off. I have a C stroke. Go this way, one inside of it, and I'll come back. Now, I'm going to turn this. I probably should have shifted to a smaller pad, but I like working in these big pads because then once the acrylic paint dries, you can look back at this as an example. It's a great way to practice. Okay, and look at that. I've now developed a nice little flower just using C's and S's. So now I've been going from right to left on my S's, but now I can go from left to right. So again, same idea. Right, down, right, okay. So I'm going to do a straight line, push down, let my bristles come up, like that airplane up, and then back this way. When I give my bristles time to catch up with me, I actually let it go back to that point, and I can get nice and thin. If you look at this, I mean, that's pretty thick, but yet, look at that nice thin line I can get with it. It's pretty amazing what you can do with these brushes. And the more you practice with them, the more you learn you can do with them. So again, now I'm going to start rounding my edges a little bit. Round, right? Oh, now look at that. Now my S's, of course, is kind of a backwards S, start showing up. Okay. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And then you can come inside of it and give it another little bump there. Oh, look how pretty that is. I really like how that one looks. So the key with Rosemaling, just like in any other art form, or really anything you do in life, is practice. If you play a musical instrument, you have to practice. If you play sports, you have to practice. If you're in school and you're doing math, you have to practice. Things don't come instantaneously. The more you work at it, the more it comes. So there's times where I'm not painting, which, well, actually, that doesn't happen very often anymore right now. But there were times where I have limited time to paint, and I'd have to warm up. So this is a great way to warm up. Right now, because we're approaching the Christmas season, I'm up to my eyeballs in work, so I'm constantly painting. I'm constantly working on something. And that's a good thing. You know what? Being busy, doing things you love, that's a blessing. I always look at the fact that I started with Rosemaling at such a young age. For those who don't know, I was actually 11 the first time I picked up a brush to paint with Rosemaling. You know, I look at it as God opening up a door for me and presenting a gift. You never know what you do in life is going to end up becoming something that becomes a real passion in your life. And this just happens to be a passion of mine. Now, it does help with teaching that I happen to have been a New York City school teacher back in the day. I taught GED high school special ed, mostly math, which my parents thought was very funny because math was not my strong suit. So remember what I said about practicing. So as I'm talking here, you do notice that I'm literally practicing my C strokes and my S strokes. Now, I don't like that. See how that got flippy? See that flippy? Let's see, can we focus in? That's what you call flippy, okay? We have very technical terms in decorative art. Anyway, to avoid getting that little flip, I forgot to let my bristles turn and catch up with me and then pull up. So it's important to give your brush time to catch up. If you notice, and I've mentioned this before, I use my arm as a brace. I use my arm as a brace because then I can get on top of it. Rosemaling, you really hold your brush pretty much up, straight up and down. You don't come like this, because if I came like this, if you notice, I can't get those nice long strokes. Now I got some really nice short ones here, but I can't get those nice long ones. So let me see if I can demonstrate a nice long stroke by being on top of it. I'll pull it back a little bit. And this is where I'll end today. So here I am. I'm up on top. You ready? I'm going to start with a C stroke. Let me push those bristles down. And I'm going to pull it around and up. Now, of course, I'm losing a little paint on this because it is a very dry surface, a porous surface that I'm working on here. So it's going to suck it out there. So there's my C's. Now, if I turn it, I always find it's easier to pull the brush strokes towards me. It's very hard to push the brush away from you. It's very much easier to pull the brush towards you. So let's see, I'm going to come way up here. And I'm going to do an S stroke so it's going to come up. And then I'm going to take my brush, remember that airplane, it's coming up to a point, and look at that. I landed right on the back of that C stroke. Isn't that pretty? And let me do a companion one right there. Pull it up and around. Oh, I like how that looks. I'm going to turn it again. Let's add a little something here. Let's see. Let's go this way. It's just fun to play with your paint, play with your paintbrush. See what you can do. Remember, it's just paint. This isn't life or death. It's not a big deal if it doesn't come out the way you like it. Then just pick up your brush and do it again. It's really okay. Paint is fun. Painting is fun. This should be relaxing. Oh, and yeah, I know sometimes it is stressful because you want things to look perfect. But you know what? What in life is perfect? Enjoy yourself. Enjoy the paint. Enjoy the moment. And remember, anything you do in life just takes time, practice, enjoyment, relax. This should be something that gives you peace and gives you enjoyment. I know I repeated myself, but you know what? That's okay. Well, you all have a blessed day, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Take care.